Hit it, Phil.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze. It's Jackson time. La-da-da-da.
Stay tuned.
Right after this episode.
For our discussion.
The Jack Benny Program.
Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. You know, if I seem to be a little bit tired tonight, it's because, well, every year at this time, I throw a party for the boys in the orchestra, you see? And last night they all came over at the house, and just to make the party a little bit different, I thought I'd try something new. So as each one walked in, I put a blindfold on them. But it didn't work. They found the liquor anyway. Our radar system should work that well. But we had a lot of fun sitting around the table eating ham and turkey and roast beef. That is all except Sammy, the drummer. You see, he's a vegetarian. He was out on the front lawn grazing. He looks so ridiculous there, down on all fours, munching. And just so the neighbors wouldn't talk, we pinned a tail on him. With all those flies around him, it fooled everybody. Oh, and I must tell you about Frankie Remley, the guitar player. You see, socially, he is very self-conscious. You know, he doesn't want people to know how much he actually drinks. So every time he had a martini, he took the olive pit and threw it out of the window. I don't know how many pits he threw out, but by the time the party broke up, you see, we couldn't get the cars out of the driveway. I'm kind of glad you laughed at that joke, because that shows you're in the mood for the rest of my program. You know, ladies and gentlemen, for my guest star tonight, I have a young fellow who has one of the great personalities of television, and yet I have never had an opportunity to work with him before. He has a beautiful singing voice, and his folksy style has endeared him to millions of viewers. And it gives me great pleasure to present to you...
Just a minute, Jack, just a minute.
What is it, Don?
Jack, what are you doing?
I'm introducing Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Oh, no, Jack, you can't introduce him yet. We haven't got the wires cleared to Lakeport, California.
What do I care about Lakeport, California? I mean, how many viewers have I got there?
Look, Jack, you don't seem to understand. That's where Ernie Ford is right now. We're picking him up from there by a remote control.
Remote control? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Where's our director? Freddie.
Call me, Jack?
What is this remote control thing? I mean, why isn't Ernie Ford here? In person?
You mean you didn't know? I thought everybody knew.
Everybody does know. Everybody but me. The cameraman knows, the sound man knows. I don't know anything. I'm only the star. Nobody tells me anything.
Well, don't holler at me, Jack. Is it my fault if nobody talks to you?
Don't be so smart.
Oh, he's not being smart, Jack. The fact is, Ernie Ford is on his ranch at Lakeport. That's where we're picking him up.
But that's only 500 miles away. I mean, if the bus fare was involved, why didn't he tell me? Why?
It's not that, Jack. Look, Ernie works hard all week, and he likes to spend his weekends up at his farm. It's the only way we can make a deal with him.
But do you think everything will work all
Jack,
right?
nothing's going to go wrong. Look, you're going to work with Ernie on what we call a split screen. We'll pick up Ernie through a series of electronic impulses transmitted through relay stations by high-frequency generators.
What are you laughing at?
He's explaining electronic impulses to a man who has to have Rochester tie his shoelaces.
Tie his shoelaces, tie his shoelaces. Look, I may know nothing about electric impulses, see, but I do know something about show business. And when I hire guest stars, I pay them with money out of my own pocket, not out of a high-frequency generator. Now, Ernie Ford is supposed to be right here alongside of me, so nothing can go wrong.
But nothing can go wrong, Jack. Nothing will. We've got the best technicians in the business. Come on, I'll show you how the remote unit works. Come on, Jack. Come on. How you doing, fellas?
Oh, fine. I got the relay pattern all worked out. Joe, take this down now before you forget. We're gonna go from Los Angeles to Santa Barbara, to Paso Robles, to Santa Maria, to Monterey.
Not so fast!
Oh, brother. Why wasn't this ready when the show started?
Oh, it was, but we found a break in the line.
Break in the line. Wow. How did this happen?
How did it happen? Someone at Pismo Beach cut it with a clam digger. How do we know how it happened?
Well, hurry it up.
Okay. I'll put this plug in here, this plug in here, and this plug in here. Ah! Oh, I got such a shock. You see what you made me do? You and your rushing. We're ready.
Go ahead, Jack.
You sure it'll be all right?
Go ahead. Introduce Ernie.
Okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present my guest star, Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Hi, neighbors. Come on in. And you too, Jack.
Where are you?
Jack, what's the matter? Your face is as pale as a mildewed cheek. What? Why, Jack, your eyes is bugged out like a stomped-on toad frog. Relax. Everything's going to be all right.
But I can't see you.
Well, look right over there at that little box. That's a monitor. There you'll see me.
Well, I'll be darned. Gee, you learn something new every day.
Well, you sure do, and who knows? Time we get off the air, you may learn how to tie your own shoelaces.
Yeah. Say, Ernie, I can understand picking you up on your farm, you know, in the living room or in the den. But in the barn?
Well, Jack, there's just certain things on the farm you don't do in the house. You got to get up and get out and keep going. Plow the fields, pitch the hay, churn the butter.
You mean you've got all that work to do?
You bet I have, and I want you to know that at the end of the day, I feel like I've been rode hard and put away wet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could say that I understood what he meant. But being a city boy, I'm not sure. You know, Ernie, I never realized that you were a working farmer. I mean, what do you grow on your farm?
Oh, we grow corn and wheat and alfalfa and lots of things. Why?
Well, I was just wondering, have you ever thought of planting an olive grove?
Mr. B, don't go trying to wholesale me a truckload of olive pits. I've had Rimley as a house guest, too.
You mean you've got
more pits than fleas on a wet dog.
Well, Ernie, you really must have a lot of work to do on the farm then, huh?
Till I hope to step in your flat hat. I'm up every morning at 5 o'clock milking the cows.
5 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, sir.
Gee, I don't get up till noon.
Well, I go to bed at 9.
I go to bed at 8. Ernie.
Oh, say, Jack, excuse me just a minute, please.
Isn't the butter churned yet?
Butter? What butter? My washing machine broke down. I need a little more work.
Through the magic of electronic impulses, I got a guest star that comes on my show and washes his socks. Ernie, you're not supposed to do your laundry on my show. You're supposed to sing a song or something. And now you can't do it.
Oh, sure I can, Jack. I've got my guitar right back here, and I'll sing as soon as I tune it up. She's got perfect pitch. Yee, don't that make the bottom of your feet hurt? Jack,
Yeah?
have you got your orchestra there?
Well, of course I've got... Oh, I forgot. You're in the barn and you can't smell them. Yeah, they're here, Ernie, and they'll give you an introduction.
Oh, good. Thank you.
When John Henry was a little baby, no bigger than the palm of your hand, his mommy looked down at little Johnny and said, "My Johnny gonna be a steel driving man. Yes, Johnny gonna be a steel driving man." John Henry was a steel driving man, drove steel all over the land. Before I let the steam hammer get me down, I'm gonna die with my hammer in my hand. Die with my hammer in my hand. John Henry went to the tunnel to drive, steam hammer by his side. He beat the steam hammer to the top of the hill. He laid down his hammer and he cried, Lord. Laid down his hammer and he cried. John Henry had a loving little wife. Her name was Polly Ann. Johnny got sick and he had to go to bed. Polly drove steel like a man. Yes, Polly drove steel like a man. They buried John Henry in the graveyard. They laid him down in the sand. Every time a freight train come puffing by, they'd say, "Yonder lies a steel driving man. Yonder lies a steel driving man."
Ernie, that was great. You know, that worked out a whole lot better than I... What? Ernie! Ernie! Hey, fellas, what happened?
I don't know. We lost them.
Well, I knew this was going to happen. Well, don't just sit there. Fix it. Do something.
I'm doing!
Well, put the plug in.
In where?
Right in here.
Don't touch the wire!
Mr. Benny, we'll fix it as soon as we can.
Well, how long will it take?
I don't know, maybe a minute.
Okay. I knew it. They always have to try something new.
Mr. Benny, we found the trouble. A wire came off.
Thank heaven. Hey, Ernie, where are you?
Here I am, Mr. B.
Oh, we just had a little difficulty.
I went outside to talk to my pea picker.
Your pea picker?
Yeah. Here comes one of them now.
That's a pea picker?
Now, what do you think I've been talking about him all these years for?
I didn't know.
Well, now, I may look like a rube, but I don't think like one.
I know.
Mr. Ford, this is my 6th basket today.
You hear that, city boy? That's her 6th basket today.
Well, bless her little old pea-picking heart.
Honey, you go back out in the patch and pick some more.
Well, that answers the question, how are you going to keep them down on the farm? I know one thing. That Ford fella wasn't behind the door when they were rattling the shucks. I don't know what that means, but I heard him say it once on his own show.
Well, now, Jack, I don't want you to get the wrong idea about this farm. It's not all play. Last week, I just completed an experiment that will go down in poultry history. Yes, sir. We have developed a breed of chicken that lays square eggs.
Well, what good are square eggs?
Well, on Easter morning, the winner of the egg roll will certainly deserve the prize.
Say, that could even make the Olympics. Imagine a square egg.
And we got them in 3 sizes, large, medium, and dice.
Dice?
Jack, if we could get a chicken that would throw a 7, we could fly that dude to Las Vegas, and I won't tell you...
Wait, all right, Ernie, all right. I mean, I asked you and you told me.
Say, Jack, let's just not stand here clacking our cluckers this way. I got a suggestion.
Clacking our cluckers? Well, we just lost Pasadena, but we picked up Arkansas. What is your suggestion?
Well, you play the violin, and I play the violin, and I thought maybe that you...
Wait a minute, you play the violin?
Oh, yes, sir. Of course, I don't play it like you do.
Oh, Ernie, you're just being modest.
I thought I was bragging. Hey, why don't we get our fiddles and give the folks a little duet?
Wait a minute, I'll get my violin. Oh, Don, hand me my violin, will you please? There we are. Now, as soon as I tune up, we'll play something. Ernie, why don't you do something about those chickens?
I thought that was you tuning up. Hey, sounds like we got another egg coming.
Can't you keep them quiet?
Well, look, we've developed the square egg, but we still got round chicken. I better go hold her claw.
Yeah, I didn't know he was so sentimental.
Say, fellas, would you mind taking the cameras off of her? Some things are sacred, you know.
Yes, boys, watch it.
Okay, boys, turn them on. There she is, Jack. Ain't that a beauty?
There it is, folks. The first square egg ever seen on television. And you were there. Ernie, come on, get your violin and we'll play our duet.
Yes, sir.
What happened now?
We're having a little trouble with the remote unit.
Well, just keep it going for another couple of minutes. That's all we'll need. Come on, Ernie. Let's go.
it.
I'm fixing.
You lost both of them.
Stop making me so nervous.
Push in a plug.
I'm pushing.
What did you do?
I don't know.
Uncross some wires.
I'm uncrossing.
What are you doing? You got him upside down.
Stop yelling! With that lousy music, who can think?
That's not it. Get Tennessee Ernie and Jack Benny.
Stop shouting!
What did you do now?
I don't know.
Get out of here. Get out. Out. Let me do it.
See, you got it mixed up too.
It wasn't my fault.
See, I'm not the only one that makes mistakes. Come on, get out of here.
Yeah, but when you make them, boy,
Yeah, you make them. You make them.
Jack will be back in just a moment, but first...
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the show. And I'd like to bring out my guest again, Tennessee Ernie Ford. Well, Ernie, we had a lot of fun.
We sure did.
And even though we did our show here in the studio, I think the folks ought to know that you really have a pretty big farm.
Well, it's a nice place. I don't know if it's a big farm, a nice little place to go and sit and pet my possum dog.
Well, have you been living there long?
Well, no, actually, I don't live there. I live in Portola Valley, California.
Oh, Portola Valley.
Uh-huh. Just a hoop and a holler down the road from Stanford University.
A hoop and a holler.
It's a little piece.
Well, you actually live near Stanford University?
Yeah, I have to. You see, 3 days a week there, I teach English.
You teach English?
Yeah? That jarred you a little, didn't it?
Jarred me? That darn near knocked the bung out of my pickle barrel.
Good night, Jack.
Good night. Good night, folks.
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I am here with Kathy Fuller-Seeley. Hey, Kathy.
Good morning.
And it's just the two of us today. Crazy, huh? So you enjoy us. But wow, a cool episode today, or at least interesting. Completely different. There's no equivalent to this in radio, right? And
No.
I don't think he ever even attempted anything like this. I mean, they could have, right? In radio, you could have played around with somebody on site in World War II or something, and pretend
there were some funny attempts to do Man on the Street during like the Fifth Avenue Easter Parade.
Yeah.
I've heard some odd things about Ben Grauer, trying to describe ladies' hats on scene. So
yeah. So this episode is Tennessee Ernie Ford. It's the main thrust of the episode is that they're doing it like he's not there in the studio. He's at a different location, and they are using the equivalent of satellite. I don't know, back then it was satellite, whatever they called it. But and so there's the back and forth between them. A lot like which it reminds me the most of is a forerunner in some ways and very similar in some ways to the Daily Show and the way the Daily Show acts like, because they're always, of course, in their studio, but they act like somebody's in Washington, D.C. reporting to somebody that's in the studio, and they'll do various things that tie into that. I mean, where they could, maybe they'll have a prop that they hand back to the guy that's in the studio, and they won't really explain how they did that, defied, time and space. But this is a similar thing. There's lots played with that. And then we have the person, the maniac in the control center controlling the whole thing is a good bit of it. And that's Joe Besser that's doing that. So let's just go over to Kathy and say, I mean, what did you think about this whole thing? It was very strange.
It was very strange and very interesting. And we, Daryl and I had been talking before we started recording about it. It's a kind of, in a kind of a mildly amusing filler kind of episode. If we remember, by 1961, Jack and his writers and staff are having to produce a weekly show. And somehow 35, or 25, 35 episodes is so many more that you can have some elaborate episodes, but then you need to get a bunch of other ones in the can.
Correct.
But as we were talking about, thinking about this idea in 1961 of the newness of sort of combining of live feeds from this place and different time and space to another place, that was really new. And interesting to people in 1961. So what a great way of taking, when a few critics still accused Jack of having a show that was too much based on a radio program, to really lean into the visualness of this, the technology of this, playing with the technicians at these giant washing machine technology boards trying to make this happen, was something sort of new and different, and very much a sort of spirit of 1961. With it.
And I think that's what makes this show interesting. I guess because if it would have just been Tennis Ernie Ford doing the normal things
in the
guest
studio
star,
with him,
it could have been good. I mean, it certainly. But to me, it makes it a little more interesting to have this whole concept, but like you say, it's definitely not a home run. It's definitely a single or a double that they hit with this, whereas maybe if they would have thought about it a little more, or they've been more used to the technology, they could have played around with it even more. But you come up with this silly things, almost things that you would think of as yourself. I mean, there's certain times when you can visualize yourself like, oh, if I was one of the writers, I could see being in the writer's room and going, oh, and now let's flip the camera upside down and let's do all these things that's because we're having technical difficulties, right? And so they start with the technical difficulties being within the norm of what you might expect. Like you are losing control, whatever. You've got cameras or feeds that are feeding it upside down or sideways or various things, right? And then they go through that, and Jack's done this before, where you take something and you take it to its extreme within reality, and then you go, okay, now we're going to bend reality, and now we're going to go beyond that to something that could never happen, but we're going to kind of make believe that it does. And then in this case, with them transposing and Jack ending up being on the other location and Ernie Ford being in the studio all of a sudden because of a technical glitch, it's like, well, that's not possible, but and I get it. It's funny. And back then it might have even been funnier and held up better. I don't know, Kathy.
There you go. In Star Trek terms, that they had just used phasers or transposers or transporters.
Yes.
But yes, so, and that's a marvelous sort of a long-term Benny kind of way of making humor, of taking, just as you say, something kind of normal, and then to an extreme, but then ramping up sort of the absurdity. We
Yes.
saw him do it with the Chicken Sisters, other
Yeah.
things that took place on a stage. In the
Yes.
same way that is, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, or
Yes.
cut that out, always built with the sportsman too,
Right.
kind of this extreme of absurdity to take that visually where
Right.
they're even switching clothes, and then
Yes.
it's suddenly a sports team and a rocket blasting into space. That suddenly the whole meaning of what is television
Yes.
is played up as an absurd kind of thing, and these new technologies. So.
Which is pretty great in some ways, pretty creative in when you think of the time. 61-ish, right? I think 61, 62, 61, I
Yeah.
think. And this seems like, if you didn't tell me, if you just showed me this episode and said, okay, guess where this falls on the Jack Benny timeline, I would say, oh, it's like his last season, or I would have I'd even bet money on the fact that it's 64, 65. Because it's like, who would think of this that early? It just seems like wrong. It seems like something that's more like a laugh-in sort of thing, or a something that one of the later comedy shows in the late 60s would do, when they were getting like when we were getting like people landing on the moon and getting video from that and so forth. All of that sort of thing would seem to tie in better. It just seems strange, and the fact that they even show a space sort of thing on here at some point.
Yeah, long before, a whole year and some before, I'm going to say John Glenn.
Yeah,
back in the day when our rockets were always...
Exactly.
Rockets
Exactly.
were
I'm
always
surprised they didn't
crashing.
show them blowing up, but anyway, yeah. So that I give it more credit for that, and when I look at these things, I'm always like thinking, okay, creatively, you have to give it some points.
Yeah.
Comedy
You're absolutely-
wise, spending a little more on the comedy of it would have been good.
This is true.
But,
This is true.
But it's like,
But just as you say, to be playing with the form of television.
Yes.
Because Jack is on the stage, perhaps at CBS, with technicians, and we never see technicians in actual stages, anymore. That's so.
Right. Well, and
then
there's certain things.
Then the old-fashionedness. I would say then the old-fashionedness of, it's pretty obvious to me that Tennessee Ernie Ford is lip syncing to his recording. It's like, wait a minute, that's.
Does this episode feature Don or Rochester, or it doesn't have Dennis in it? I know that. Does it? I don't know if it has any of those guys in it.
A darn good question.
Also, Don may have. Is this where Don had said he was going to be gone doing a play for a while, or
no, that's the other episode. So he's with Don, and amusingly, the director comes out on stage and they claim he's Freddie, but he's not Freddie DeCordova, because Freddie has that amazing, tout voice.
Yeah.
So a fellow named Elliot Ross played the director named Freddie. So, we've got reality and fiction.
Yes.
All
I'm just
thoroughly
thinking,
mixed up.
for my money, if I was writing this or whatever, thinking about it, I may have either used Don or Rochester to be like, where maybe this story it would make more sense for Don, probably make it be where like Don is trying to learn extra stuff. He's Jack's maybe going, look, I can't give you any more money for being my announcer. You do the same thing all the time. And Don's like, well, how about if I learn to do some of the behind the scenes stuff? And so then Don's back there with Joe Besser. I think the two of them would be hilarious together.
Oh, yeah.
And Don's screwing things up, and Besser's trying to fix the things, or Besser's trying to show off and show him how to do things and screwing things up. That could have been a fun play back there. You could have done the same thing with Rochester. Rochester's trying to expand what he can do, and Jack brings him in and lets him do some of the behind the scenes stuff. And that could have been really funny too, because Besser kind of needs someone else to work off of more. He's got somebody back there, but it's just not as funny.
No,
it doesn't. It can't meet Besser, whereas those two guys could kind of meet Besser where he's at, and they could play their most manic selves at the same time, and it would have been really funny. And that could have, right there, just that little change could have moved this episode to be maybe not a classic episode, but it could have made it a lot stronger. But anyway,
a great idea.
Yeah,
Let's send a note to Jack about
yeah,
that.
exactly. But anyway, it just a fun, different thing, and and when we're going to have this many episodes, I want some to explore different things. I don't want to rehash the same things all the time. So I'll give that points for this. And like we were saying too before, the other side of it is Tennessee Ernie Ford is such a huge star at the time.
Yeah.
That I think just having him on your show was a huge get, which Jack would often do, get these amazing people on. And I think they could do almost anything and the audience would be happy. It's like if you have the Beatles on. Does your skit really need to be its best? Do you need to be at your funniest and things? People are going to tune in just for that. And they're going to enjoy the show just for that. And he lets Tennessee Ernie Ford sing part of the time, and that's what people are wanting and things. So
as a kind of broadcast historian, I mean, from that angle, it's interesting to think of the number of times that Jack on his show would bring in people from other media, singers.
Yes.
That's so it's not, it's in a way, you would think CBS would want to push other people who are on the CBS network.
Yeah.
I understand Tennessee Ernie Ford's show had been on ABC, a rival network, and was just over. But how, interesting to see Jack bring in, like I said, personalities from other media.
And for future reference, Kathy, we don't say ABC, we say a rival network.
Yes, a rival network.
Yes.
Another network.
Yeah, I always thought that was hilarious when they couldn't say the other networks on the shows. And some of the folks, when you got big enough, you're like Carson or something, you could just go, forget it. It's over on CBS, he was NBC. So you go, oh yeah, this guy's show's on CBS on Thursday night. You probably should tune in. It's not because nobody he had on that Carson ever had on would ever be direct competition with Carson. They're competition with the NBC shows, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wonder that too, is like they didn't have that as a thought, it seems like back then, of let's include folks from like Jack's on CBS, and so why not have the Matt Dillon from Gunsmoke on, and why not have other CBS shows? It didn't seem like they thought to do that.
And I can sort of tell you why, because it just shows what were the power of sponsors. That this was in still many ways the major three networks sort of sold half hours of blank airtime.
Right.
And it was the power the sponsors could say, in the same way that Lucky Strike had been able to say, we will not, or most famously, I Love Lucy, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, because they were sponsored by Philip Morris, were not allowed to have Jack Benny on their show on I Love Lucy, because he was sponsored by a rival tobacco brand.
That's true.
So here is just the point of the networks. They will be starting to get the idea together of, we've tamped down the role of the sponsors. We're now going to be more in charge of creating our own schedules and our own programming.
Well, and that's
when we're going to start to do that.
Maybe that's why they could get Tennessee Ernie Ford at this point, because, like you said, his show had just gone off the air. So they're like, okay, he's not representing another sponsor.
Yeah.
So he's an individual we're bringing on. Just like when you bring on Marilyn Monroe or whoever you're going to bring on, they come as their own entity, and they're not if they were a spokesperson for a rival cigarette brand or rival something else, I could see where they might have trouble bringing them on. So maybe that's why they couldn't do it, is like maybe because the sponsors had so much power. It wasn't about the networks promoting their other shows. It was about the sponsors not being shown up by folks that, in their eyes, whenever you see Matt Dillon, you see the product that whatever product is being sponsored on his show, his sponsors.
Right.
So yeah.
Marlboros or Tidy Bowl or something
Which
like
is
that.
funny because no human being thinks that way. If you saw Jack Benny on Lucy's show,
right,
no one would look at it and go, "Oh, there's Jack, the Lucky Strike guy." It's
well, but back in radio days,
yes,
the sales of Jell-O spiked because people loved Jack Benny. So there was a time when when a number of the performers were back in previous times,
right?
When when performers
I'm not saying that you wouldn't sell more product. I mean, on your show, right? But I'm just saying, even back in the height of Jell-O, if Jack appeared on Bing Crosby's show and didn't mention Jell-O, they often did. They often would come on someone's show and they do a joke on Jell-O or whatever, because they would, in order for them to be on the show, I think in some ways they were supposed to mention their own sponsor, sort of thing. But even if they didn't have them do that, if they just had Jack on, I don't think many people, their focus is going to be, oh, this is Jack Benny on Bing Crosby's show. It's not, oh, Jell-O allowed Jack to be on here. I wonder why.
Well, there you go.
Variety might cover that, but I don't think the average viewer is going to connect all those dots necessarily. So I think the sponsors were in some ways shooting themselves in the foot and being a little too sensitive with that stuff. I think. Sure.
Because
I think the benefit of having Jack on I Love Lucy and the ratings they would have got from having Jack on I Love Lucy would have more than justified having that happen.
Yep, and yet that's these people not into broadcasting, but thinking we're paying so much for the advertising, we cannot sully the message. We can, that's whatever. How interesting, how complicated.
Yeah.
How complicated the context can be when we think we're just watching an old TV episode or listening to an old radio episode, and when you can think that there are all these kind of other mitigating factors back in the day, it's kind of fun.
Well, and talking about Hollywood and old Hollywood and everything, it's like I just wish more people would either write some sort of book that would flesh out old Hollywood stories and things. And it's no one does that anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Kathy, would you have anything you could share with us that's going to be coming out soon or anything? Old Hollywood in any way?
Kind of you. Well, you're so sweet. I have a brand new book done with my fabulous co-author, Frank Thompson, who's spent a lifetime studying movies made in Texas and movies about the Alamo. And so this is a cute little book about one of the first groups to leave New York City and to try and make real Westerns in a real place like Texas. And we learned
just tell you, I love this. Hold that up again for a second. Okay. Now, hold it down so we can see the Jack Benny one behind it. Okay.
There you go.
So now you have the worst titled book maybe in history back there, the Jack Benny one. What's the title for the Jack Benny? You tell it to the people what the
what? Jack Benny and the Golden Age of American Radio Comedy.
Okay. One of the wordiest titles ever. And and they made her use that as the title.
Oh yeah.
Then her new book, hold that up again.
Oh, another one.
The first movie studio in Texas.
Gaston Meliez's star film.
No, but that part doesn't matter to me. It's the first movie studio in Texas that just captures you and brings you, and you go, my gosh, what is this? I never knew there was a studio in Texas. I mean, I love that title. That is like one of the best.
Oh, you were so sweet. You were so sweet. I actually left it up to the press. I was going, we can't figure out what to call this.
They did a good job coming up with it. So that was a very catchy title.
Figure out what to call this thing. Call it Fred.
Well, because it's essentially the story of, and who's the person again? It's the story of.
It's the story of director John Ford's mysterious older brother Francis, who got his start here in 1910 and 1911, and went on to become one of the first kings of Hollywood. And then his 12 years younger little brother, just getting out of high school, asked for a summer internship to come out to this new place called Hollywood.
Because if you would have called it the story of John Ford's older brother, or smarter older brother or something, it's somewhat interesting or whatever. Or if you would have called it his name on there, the story of him. Like, but having it, the title
Oh,
that they
Craig,
gave it is
you're
so much
so
catchier.
sweet.
So
You
I
are
think
so sweet. I was so worried that nobody would like it. So
they're gonna
the
love it.
man gets a free copy of the
It's
book to hold
gonna
up a
sell
door.
a million copies, I tell you. And can they get it like now? Like if they go
Oh
to
yes, it is published. Amazon has it on sale. So
Oh, very good. Very good. And is it hardback only or hardback and paperback
at the
or
moment, they want me to sell hardbacks for 2 years before we get a paperback.
Oh, very cool.
So
Okay.
there you go. There you
And
go.
well, you know me. I love my hardbacks. So
Well, so
that's what
you
I
will
would
be
have wanted
pleased.
anyway.
You will be
There we go.
pleased. So
There we go.
thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. And if you contact Kathy and send her $1,000, she'll give you a signed copy. I would assume that would be my guess.
There you go.
Yes,
There you
there
go.
you go. There you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this episode with Tennessee Ernie Ford. It's great. I hope you get Kathy's book. It's equally great, I'm sure. I haven't read it yet, but I'm excited to read it. And who knows, maybe you'll have John's wife read it again. That would be lovely. And
Oh,
do an audiobook.
Stephanie did such a great job on this book. So
Yes, she did.
fantastic.
She did a beautiful job. So anyway, we'll let it go at that and let folks enjoy this, unless there's anything else you wanted to mention, but I think that's pretty good.
No, let's
All right.
enjoy. So
All right. Enjoy Tennessee Ernie Ford and, of course, Jack Benny and Joe Besser in this fun episode. We'll see you later. Thanks, guys.
bye.